doing an impromptu video tonight. So, I just got back from watching Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. And I just thought I would record maybe some reactions tonight. So much has happened. I I I don't know what to say, which is kind of inconvenient considering I'm sitting in front of a recording camera. Um, I'm gonna try to do what I've seen other people who talk about movies on YouTube do, and I'm gonna start off by at least saying some things that are spoiler free, and then, but I will confess that's gonna be very very little because anyone else who's watched this film will know you can barely say anything without spoiling something. So I'm just gonna try to say the things that I know are spoiler free first. I honestly don't know whether I like this movie or not. Like that's what's so strange. I walked out of this theater. I don't know whether I like it or not. The best I can say is I know I enjoyed the experience. So if you're a Marvel fan, if you love Doctor Strange, if you were a fan of WandaVision, um, if you like these shows and films, I think you'll enjoy your theater experience. I think you will enjoy the film. I don't know if I like the film. That's what's crazy. I'll probably maybe at some point tomorrow or I don't know, maybe next week. I think I'm gonna maybe go see it again with some other friends. Maybe I'll know if this is actually like on like a high place in my like personal list of like favorite Marvel films. I don't know. I don't know. Like most of the Avenger films I really like. I love Captain America. I love like the first Doctor Strange movie. And I loved the last Spider-Man film. Those are kind of like most of those are in like near the top of my list. I don't know where this one sits right now. This film was insane. You know what? Let me just stop with the rambling. This film is insane. I'd heard things about like the director Sam Raimi, who I only know a little bit about. I don't know a ton about. I'm not a movie expert. I heard about a little bit about him. I heard that this was going to be the first like horror film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It definitely is. It's not that the whole time. It's not that the whole time. It's still got the normal Marvel beats that we would hit. There's the little bit of snarky humor coming from Benedict Cumberbatch. So like there's a lot of good stuff. But then there's some things that happen, and it's just like that really just happened in a Marvel movie. So that so yeah. Go see it. Go see Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. You won't believe what you're seeing. You will not believe it. Let's see. Is there anything else I can say that's not spoiler-ish? No, I think that's pretty much that's really all I got. I enjoyed the movie experience. There were moments in this theater tonight where the audience like applauded and cheered during certain moments. I can go in more detail into when in a minute, but I completely. You know what? I will say this. Most likely, I'm going to say that I really did like this film because almost every film that I got lost in, I end up liking it. And my film started at 7, and obviously there was like the 20 so minutes of like trailers and commercials and stuff. So it was probably more like 7:20 or so when the movie actually got started, and did not walk out of the theater until after 9:30. And obviously stayed for post credit scene, and then even stood in the theater for a few minutes just sort of talking with people that I was with. I lost all track of time. There was not one moment when I wanted to check my watch. There was not 1 minute where I was like, man, this thing's kind of going on for a while. Super fast paced, at least for my opinion. Super fast paced, man, this movie clicks along. Like it just you're like, whoa, that was 2 hours? Like it just you just boom, there it is. So yeah, amazing as far as like an experience to watch. I'm most likely going to end up saying that I like this film, but it's still kind of just like I don't know. I don't know. Okay, you know what? That's enough of me just sort of generically rambling. I'm now going to say spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Uh, if and maybe I'll try to put something up here. Spoiler warning. You have been warned. Okay. Uh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was not ready for how this movie began. It just started off right in the middle of this conflict, and I'm like, wait, what's happening? Who are these people? What? This is not our Doctor Strange. Like, his magic's the wrong color. Something is happening here. But I kind of liked that. Uh, I was not ready for Wanda to be our main villain. You might say to me, "Oh, Will, you should have known. She's the Scarlet Witch. It should have been obvious." No, as someone who loved the WandaVision series, I saw a redemptive quality to her arc by the end of that. Which maybe that is still what they were going for. Maybe they implied that the Darkhold corrupted her in between that final episode of that series and this movie. And that might be more clear to me upon a second viewing. But I wasn't ready. I was not ready. I was thinking that Wanda was going to be a help and then was going to be tempted to like search for her kids or something. I knew there was going to be an element of that. I was not ready for her to be the primary antagonist and to basically just slaughter everybody. Her battle against like the all the sorcerers, like vaporized people, and I was okay. What you're seeing now was what my face was in the moment. Like I'm reliving it right now, like an hour, 2 hours later. Okay. Then when we get to where we're traveling through the different universes, John Krasinski, if I'm saying that right, I'm going to call him the way I know him as Jim Halpert from The Office, was Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards. Like all the rumors that everybody is saying. And he's on screen for 5 minutes. And then he's unraveling like a cheap sweater to Wanda's magic powers. And then to have Captain Carter, live action Captain Carter. I know not the same one from Marvel's What If, but a live action Captain Carter. I and the audience cheered. We cheered when that happened. We cheered when John Krasinski appeared on screen. But everybody cheered and clapped when Captain Carter appeared walked in on the frame. And then she got sliced like a Thanksgiving ham. And then the other time that the audience went absolutely berserk to where I actually missed a couple of lines of dialogue. I'm pretty sure I heard what was said, but it was kind of hard to hear when Professor X rolled onto screen. It was like every single thing that I thought that I'd seen like on YouTube and online that was saying, spoiler this, spoiler that, leaky this. I was like, okay, nah, this is just people making stuff up. Okay. So all those people dead. Just dead. Just dead. We just got introduced to them. And we were just done cheering for Mr. Fantastic. And he's dead. And I know there's the character from Inhumans. I do know about that series. I've not watched that series, actually, but I know that character, Black Bolt, I think. I do not get angry with me if I'm saying the wrong name, because I was just in shock. Um, some of these like death elements, like that's really when it started to feel more. I mean, other people might disagree. Other people might have noticed things like from jump scares or things from earlier on. But for me, this is when we started to feel more like a horror movie. And then there were some jump scare things that happened that and I'll talk about the one that really got me. I visibly jumped out of my seat, and it was one of those nice seats where it reclines and like puts you back. So jumping from that position was quite a feat. Um, but no, so all those like characters that you were so excited to see just die, and I was like, what? We just met these people. We just. But and also, I will say this for being a Wanda fan, they made her freaking terrifying, completely terrifying. Um, when the moment that had me jump scared, I will tell this: the moment that had me jump scared was whenever they were running from Wanda in the tunnels underneath the river, and they're closing these doors and closing these doors. She's just blowing things, and so the big door comes down, and they don't hear anything. And they're not running. They're standing there watching the door. That should have been my clue that something was coming, because I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, why did you stop running? You've shut the door. She's not bursting through it. Keep running. I hear people's voices around me in this packed theater because there were barely any empty seats. I was very lucky that I was sitting next to my friend, and then there was actually like two empty seats next to me. So I actually had a little bit of elbow room on the one side, but we were up very near the front. All the seats behind us were completely packed. So I began to hear people like behind me just saying, keep running, keep running. And I was just like, yeah, that's what I think. So anyway, but y'all, if you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about, because they're standing there. The water that's been dripping from the ceiling begins to like go in slow motion. And it just keeps flipping between their profile and the door, their profile and the door, their profile and the door, and then all of a sudden, Wanda just appears from the side. That moment got me. That moment got me. I audibly screamed. I audibly screamed. Might not have been like a loud like shriek, but it was very much like an ah. And I'm having to be a little bit quiet because I am in my apartment and it's pretty late. But okay. Whew. The last thing I guess I just want to say, which it's still technically a spoiler territory, because I mean I don't know, I don't just want to talk about every single thing that happened in the movie. I I really have to give Marvel credit for something, and I know this has been talked about before by people far more educated and experienced than me, but it's really impressing me just how well Marvel is getting at subverting expectations, particularly in their trailers. Because if you were like me and you watched the trailers for the film, now, and granted, I didn't watch the last trailer. I heard that there were like some character reveals in the last trailer that was released. I did not watch the last trailer. Um, I had heard the voice that sounded like Professor X in a trailer early on, but I was still like, that might not be him. You know, I knew it was a possibility, but I was like, that might not be him. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know any other releases. I just knew the basic trailer. The basic trailer seemed like Wanda was going to be a help and not the villain. The villains looked like it was going to be the evil version of Doctor Strange and the zombie version of Doctor Strange. Little do we know that the first one has a pretty epic battle scene, I will say, but then it gets taken care of in one scene. And that zombie Doctor Strange is actually the good guy, because our Doctor Strange is like dream walking, controlling him from the other universe. So, like, if you think about it, nothing that the trailer implied was actually true. They completely subverted every little thing, at least from the early on. I'm not sure if maybe like the last trailer that was released that like I said, I decided not to watch because I didn't want to get spoiled on something. The last trailer that was been released, maybe it gave you a different impression when you watched it, but all the trailers that I'd seen before this point, had a very different movie in my brain compared to what I saw. Now, what I saw was an amazing experience. I'm very glad I went to see it in theaters. Um, I really don't know where these things can go from here. Like it's hard for me to imagine what happens next. Like Wanda's gone. At least our Wanda. Our Wanda is gone. Um, Doctor Strange has some residual holdover effects from the Darkhold. Now has a third eye. Like what? And who is this lady that sliced the poor? I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't know. So I don't know what's gonna happen next. Um, but like I said, I'm definitely glad I saw it. It was a really fun movie to watch. And I'm pretty sure that in the next 48 hours, I'm probably going to be like, yeah, this is a pretty good movie. It's hard for me to say that now just because, like I said, it still just sort of feels like my brain is trying to process everything that I saw tonight because it feels like so much information was given to me in one movie. And yet at the same time, so many loose ends seem to have been created and very little got, wrapped up from other films. So, so here we are. If you watch the movie and you have thoughts or there were different things that happened to you or you had a different experience or maybe you didn't like the movie and you have some reasons why, put them down in the comments. I would love to read some other people's thoughts, people who have far more experience with the comic book lore, or maybe even just have a better understanding of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I feel like I have a pretty decent understanding of what's happening in the movies and the TV shows. I've watched all the main important ones. Like I didn't see the Inhumans series that apparently got like canceled halfway through. I've not watched all of the episodes of the different Netflix Marvel series. Like I watched like the first season of Jessica Jones and like the first season and a half of like Daredevil. And then I watched Defenders, but I didn't watch all of Luke Cage or Iron Fist or things like that. I didn't watch the other seasons of Jessica Jones or the Punisher so I've not watched every single thing, but I've watched all of the main things that have an impact on the overarching story, right? So I feel like I have a decent understanding, but there are probably a lot of people out there that have a much better understanding than I do. So if I'm missing something or if there's something that you think I've left out that's super important, please let me know because I really enjoy this stuff and I want to understand it better. But boy, did this movie made it hard. All right, I think that's all. I think I've got it all out. I think I'll be able to go to bed now because I decided to record this because I was like, I can't. I can't. Our main characters, guys, for 3 seconds were sentient blobs of paint. I want you to think about that for a moment, that our main characters were paint. We're going to leave it at that. Like I said, super fun movie to watch. I'm probably going to see it again at some point next week with some different friends. Honestly, because I want to see if I missed anything and see if something makes sense now that I know where it's going. I also have got to see some of my other friends' reactions to certain moments in this movie. But like I said, if you have different thoughts, if you love the movie, if you didn't like the movie, please put it in the comments below. Maybe label something spoiler if you're gonna say something spoiler-y. Then again, that might not matter by the time you're watching this. At any rate, thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed this. I love talking about these types of movies, and this is the first time I've ever really recorded anything like this. So if y'all like it, I might try to do some more. But I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you're interested in other content like this or playing fun video games like Pokemon and stuff like that. But in the meantime, I hope you have a good night. Remember who you are. Bye, guys.